What's up, guys? It's Eric. I had the chance to, spur of the moment, have one of my really good friends, her name is Sydney, share her story of what it was like to be raped. Sydney I've known for 5 years, and we were hanging out. She ended up looking at me and she goes, "You know what? I want to share my story. I think it could help somebody." She knows what I do, and she's an amazing friend. I'm really amazed at the strength she had to share it. And I want to share her story because I know it can help somebody out there. If you're new to my channel, hit the like and subscribe button. It's all about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, sobriety, having a little bit of fun, and mainly making sure that nobody goes through life alone. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor. I'm none of that. I'm diagnosed with ADHD, PTSD, GAD, and MDD. I've self-harmed before. I take meds. I see a therapist. I'm a recovering cocaine and alcoholic addict, and I lost my wife and father to suicide. I also attempted suicide in September 2018. Having Sydney share this story was heart-touching to me. I knew of this story and we had talked about it before. I've known her about a little over 5 years, and she's a very good friend of mine. And in my life, she is one of my support system. She is one of those people that listens to listen, that I can talk to at any time and understands what depression is like because she struggles with it also. And we were hanging out. She looked at me and goes, "I want to share my story. And I think it would help somebody out. I've never shared it before." So I had the opportunity to record it. It was very spur of the moment recording, and her strength had me in complete awe. So here's Sydney's story.
My name is Sydney Bertone. I'm 24. I live in Irvine. I think it's come in waves ever since it happened, to be completely honest, because half the time I'll be okay talking about it and the other half I will break down and it won't really be okay. But for the most part, I think it took maybe about like 5 years after it happened to really harness everything and just accept it. I didn't think so, honestly, no. Just because, like, especially the situation that I was in, it had to deal with people that I knew since I was like in like 4th grade, or just that I knew for like years before. So I didn't think like anything of it. I thought that, like, you know, they were my friends, that nothing would happen. Like, I would think like if anything, it would happen with somebody like just random, that it would just happen in like life. You know, so it just kind of, you know, it was random. For me, I was 14 and my parents went out of town for my sister's gymnastics meet, and I was left with my grandma, so I thought I had the chance to kind of like work her over and just like be able to do whatever I wanted. So I told her I was gonna go walk the dog, and I went to my friend's house who moved into a place that was like right next to mine, like in the same neighborhood. So I went over there and they had a couple people over, and so I thought I was going to just like hang out with friends. And so that was like my first time I ever got drunk, and they offered it to me, and I thought, like, why not? Like, I have this opportunity, like, I'm with my grandma, like, why not? And so I did that, and I really didn't even like be there when they were like making the drinks or anything like that. So every time like I had it, it was, I don't know how strong the drinks were, to be completely honest. And so I just kind of like got out of mind, and I didn't really know what was going on. And somebody asked me like, "Oh, do you want to go upstairs?" And I thought that meant like, okay, like, we'll lay you down, like, you'll be okay, let's just chill for a minute. But it wasn't like that. And so like that person like came up with me like upstairs and was like trying to, you know, touch me and all these things, and I still was trying to like be like, no. And then there was it was like 3 other people there as well, and so like 2 of them were like my friends and 2 people I didn't know. And so the person that brought me upstairs I didn't really know, and they ended up all like coming up and just kind of pretty much having their way. And I honestly don't really remember. All I remember is just like trying to push off people and say no and all this. And when I woke up the next day, I woke up with like bruises like on my legs and everything like that, like literally like fingerprints like holding me open and like on my arms and everything. And it was, I don't know. It was a really hard thing to like accept. And so I just tried to push it off like it wasn't anything. But when my parents came back, they ended up, saying something and making me do something about it. I really didn't tell anybody. Like my parents like made me tell them like maybe like a day or two after it happened. I just didn't want anything to come of it because I didn't really know what to think about it, because I felt like it was my fault in a way, and I knew that it wasn't. I think just accepting that it happened and that like somebody can be, or multiple people I guess, could be like that cruel to like one person. No, I knew it happened. It was just, I just was going in and out like of my own mind from being, drunk. Like when you're like at that point where you're like blacking out, it has that like in and out phase. And that's literally just what it was. So it's like I knew, but like I didn't want to accept that it happened. That's actually a really hard one. I guess it's the fact that like there will be just a couple of people that really like stand behind you and like really like, that they're just gonna be there for you and just know that you were telling the truth. I think that helped a lot for me. Always. And even beforehand I really was, but like afterwards it just like, it was crazy to know like how mean like some people can be. Like to sit there and get like death threats and like tell people that they're going to beat you up, or like little things here and there. It was so hard. But I always just sat there and I was like, you know what, just be strong, like know your truth, know that you're being honest, and if they can't take it, then that's on them. Like you don't need that person in your life. Yeah, I think it's made me who I am today, and I don't think it was like a great thing that happened, but I think like it brought out like certain parts of me that like I didn't even know that I had, like especially like strength wise, that I can still keep going. I think just stay true to your heart and just like know that you're telling the truth, and no matter what anybody says, just stay there and just stay true to who you are and what you went through, and that because you were there. Like anybody else who says something, they weren't there, they don't know. That's all just from whatever anybody else told them. So it really doesn't matter. So just try to stay true to your heart and like try to be around the people that are trying to be there for you and like lift you up, and just hold on to that.
I was really honored that she was willing to share this with me. It is one of the hardest things to share. If anybody has ever struggled with sexual trauma or sexual abuse, down below I have a link to RAIN, which is actually a nonprofit out there for that. It's not an easy story to share. I know a lot of different individuals that have been sexually abused in their life, whether it was from a family member, a friend, or somebody that they did not know. And it is a battle. To have my friend willing to share this was a really great honor. And her strength just amazes me. She is one of those friends that's always there when you need them. And I can't thank her enough for doing this. And I hope that it helps somebody out there, because you're not alone. You're not. And the strongest thing that you can do is share your story, because you begin to own it. And the more that you own it, the less that you're haunted by it, and the more that it helps others. So if you're struggling out there, please reach out for help. Let everybody know. And you're an amazing human being. Nothing is your fault. You're stronger than you could ever imagine. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe button, hit the like and subscribe button. Comment down below. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your story. In the description, I have links to all my different social medias. I have links to the mental health Discord community for peer-to-peer support. I have links down below to things on Amazon even that I use, like fidget cubes, fidget spinners, things that I use for my anxiety. Even have a link down below to BetterHelp. I mean, it's trial and error to find out what happens, to what works best for you, and never giving up. You're a fighter, and you've made it this far. I even have a link down below to Renewal Recovery mental health facility. It's an inpatient recovery facility that I even do some counseling at. And it's about fighting. And you're one hell of a fighter, and I'm proud of you that you're still here. And I believe in you because you've never given up. And if you are struggling out there, reach out for help.